All right, and hello everyone. My name is Jungle Book One, two times world champion and pro player for Luminosity Gaming in Pokemon Unite. And today I want to talk about the two new items that released in the most recent patch, Resonant Guard and Charging Charm. When should you use them, and what types of mods are they good on? So first, we're going to talk about the Charging Charm. Charging Charm gives 15 attack, 120 movement speed at level 30. And it reads, energy is charged through movement and basic attacks, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon, while energy is full will deal additional damage 20, 30 plus 40 flat, plus 50%, 60%, 70% of your attack stat. And obviously you're going to be looking at the level 30, so it's going to be 40 plus 70%. Basic attacks add 9 charge. So when we take a look at the list of Pokemon, immediately what comes to mind is all-rounders and speedsters. The reason being is that you're able to get off huge amounts of burst on these mons with this item. For example, if you look at something like Dodrio, who already benefits from the stats of attack and movement speed, of course, I mean, works very well in Dodrio. It could slot in very nicely in the place of Float Stone, so you could use something like Attack Weight, Razor Claw, and the Charging Charm. And it will just make your burst extremely high, whether it be in the early game, even something as little as on the way to clearing the minions on the way to lane. It will make your clear faster. It'll make your jungle clear a bit faster than Floatstone, for example. And more importantly, it will increase your secure thresholds in the lane. So it'll make it a lot easier to get those last hits. And this doesn't just apply to Dodrio, of course. It applies to things like Buzzwole, Lucario, even something like Serena. If you're playing early game and you're just trying to secure things, this thing can really help you secure with the base damage, as well as obviously a percentage of your attack stat, which just scales incredibly well. So obviously scales very well with attack weight then. I could see it being pretty good on something like Urshifu, like single strike Urshifu perhaps. Potentially Zacian, we could see it a little bit, but yeah, pretty much any all-rounder you can experiment with it. Not any, but I think it can work on a lot of these guys. Aegislash, the secure can become pretty insane. I could see it being decent on Mimikyu. So honestly, until we get probably multiple weeks or even months, the actual meta builds will probably form. But I do think that you will see it on a lot of these attacker and speedster mons. So that's excuse me, all rounder and speedster mons. So that's who you're gonna want to be trying these items on. I would say that highly recommend sticking away from this item on special attackers, obviously, because the stats it gives are physical attack and movement speed. So something like Venusaur, obviously, you won't be as efficient to run it because it does scale off your base attack stat, which means it's much more efficient on physical attacker mons. So this list right here, if you did want to try it on, let's just say you want to try it on Cinderace or Dragapult just for fun. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to say about the charm. So now I'm going to take a look at the Resonant Guard. And this item reads 450 HP and HP recovery per 5 seconds at 18. Grants a shield for 100 plus 6% of your max HP that lasts for 3 seconds to user and a nearby ally with the lowest HP while dealing damage to opposing Pokemon. Effect goes on cooldown for 10 seconds after it's triggered. And so an important thing to note here is that it's 6% of your max HP, meaning that certain defenders can make really good use of this item because they naturally have very high HP already. So when I take a look at the Pokemon and you take a look at defenders first, two Pokemon that come to mind immediately are Slowbro and Trevenant. I think that these mods are they're pretty consistently doing damage to the enemy team. Slowbro through auto attacks, Trevenant through using its abilities, obviously. So I think that they could be very good users, especially because they don't use Buddy Barrier very well either. So you could run something like the Charm plus Focus Band. I think you will see that a lot on these two mods. Something I wouldn't be as convinced about Umbreon, because Umbreon's not always doing damage consistently. A lot of times you'll see them running Wish, Mean Look, and if you're running that set, very often you'll just be tossing a Mean Look at someone and backing up. So you're not going to be proccing it as often as I'd say a Slowbro or Trevenant. I think Mamoswine could be a decent user. I think something like Goodra or Blastoise Defender could be a decent user. And then obviously supporters can use this item very well. Also, so something like Hoopa, Eldegoss, Comfey. I think there's honestly merit in Blissey because you can just toss an Egg Bomb at someone and proc it pretty easily. And like I said, she does have that super huge health stat, HP stat. And again, this item the shield that it grants does scale off percentage HP. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about those two items. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And hopefully y'all enjoy this type of content, and I'll be back soon. Peace out.